And I made a free quiz that you could actually take if you want to figure out what plan would be right for your body.
I made a free quiz. A free quiz. Imagine Freeze made a quiz and it's paid for. I'm going to die. I'm gonna collapse. Nobody would pay for your quiz. Simon on the board, a-hole here, and look, I completely agree with you. If you saw the title of this video and you're like, why is he talking about V-Shred again? You're right, I'm an idiot, and somebody should shoot me out of a cannon. But because you're all very nice and lovely people, and because I asked for it, sometimes people send me videos of gym equipment that they think I'll find funny or I'll get annoyed about. Please do that too. Instagram, Twitter at Simon316, chuck me a DM or do a comment below. And I watch this stuff, because, you know, I like to engage with the community, it's fun. And then I watch it, and I'm like, just let it go, Simon, let it go. There's that little, like, bee in my brain going, buzz, 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 and after a while, I'm like, I just gotta go crazy. So yes, we're gonna talk about it again. But I do also think it's important, because if you stumble across a video like this and you watch it and you start taking it at face value, or you allow it to manipulate your mind a little bit, it could absolutely ruin your Fitness Palace of Love journey. Obviously, the Fitness Palace of Love is the gym, if you've never watched a video of mine before. And I do want to point out that this video is from a long-ass time ago. It doesn't mean anything has changed, but it's always good to quote the facts. Now, the reason it got me straight away is because it is called Say Goodbye to Your Skinny Fat Body in quote marks, 3 simple fixes. I have a problem with the title. That's right, I have a problem with the title, because straight away, skinny fat. I'll talk about that when our good friend V-Shred has explained how he deems to be skinny fat, but also fixes. 3 simple fixes. Now I get it, it's probably a YouTube term, but this stuff, you don't have to fix having a skinny fat body, right? In fact, you know what? We'll just go through the video. It makes it a lot easier.
Skinny fat people, if you don't know what that is, those are the people who don't really look like they're out of shape when they're wearing clothes. They probably look average. Maybe they look a little thin. Maybe their sleeves, maybe their arms don't fill out their sleeves, or they don't have broad shoulders or any of that, but they don't look out of shape.
Don't look out of shape. Can you believe that you don't look out of shape? This, the judgment. Also, why the hell is this filmed on a potato? It doesn't make any kind of a sense. Now, he's going to talk about later on, maybe I'll keep it in, maybe I won't. The skinny fat people is somebody where, again, they look like they're a thin guy, they take it off, and maybe they got some fat in their stomach, maybe they got some fat in their back, maybe they got some fat here, some fat in their chest.
When they take their shirt off, all of a sudden they have this little gut that nobody saw before, a little lower belly fat, or...
That's called being a human being. It's called being a normal, walking around human being. Not everyone is walking around at sub 10% body fat. It's just not the case. A good example of this is that CM Punk, the professional wrestler, recently returned to wrestling. Always used to get called this by people in wrestling and by people out wrestling. I'm like, what are you talking about skinny fat? How can you tell me that CM Punk isn't in shape? Did he look like a gym monster? No, but he was able to put on wrestling matches that went on for, what, 20, 25, 30 minutes? And he wasn't gassed out. He was, I can't breathe. Like, if I do wrestling, and we just returned, and I'm still getting my win back. First match, if someone said, Simon, do you want to quit? I'd be like, I want to quit, I can't breathe anymore. And people probably looked at me and looks like, no. It's absolute lunacy, and it's absolutely stupid. There is no such thing as skinny fat. There is no such thing as skinny fat. Maybe you're a skinny person that has some areas of fat you'd like to get rid of, or you'd like to lower your overall body fat percentage, or maybe you're a little bit on the heavy side and you would still like to get rid of that fat, but you do not call yourself skinny fat. And it's not something you have to fix, because you can look like that, quote unquote, and still be in tip-top health. And again, when we talk about health and fitness, the health part is really important. Of course it is. You just want to be healthy. Before you do anything, before it gets to the aesthetic part of you, you have to and want to be healthy.
Fat, or maybe they have a little bit of man boobs.
A little bit of man boobs. A little bit of man... It's like that song, a little bit of man boobs in my life. I can't handle a little bit of man boobs. A little bit of Monica in my life.
And a lot of times what happens is they'll either focus on the cutting, and they'll go on some calorie restrictive diet where they're gonna try to get rid of the fat and then put on muscle later. And what ends up happening is that they're not dieting right and they're not training right. Therefore, they start losing some weight and they just get skinny.
But maybe they want to get skinny. This doesn't make any sense. Find me something like, you can main gain, right? I get it. It's a big conversation, I understand. But by and large, a traditional person that wants to put on muscle will bulk, and traditionally a person that wants to lose weight or lose a fat will then go on a cut. And I mean, sometimes you increase your calories and sometimes it decreases your calories. There's not this, you don't go human beings, endomorph, mesomorph, skinny fat guy. These terms are bad. These terms are bad. They just are, because they're manipulative. I think I've already said that. I'm saying it again. And they pry on people's worst fears, and they pry on people's, self-consciousness. Never refer to yourself as skinny fat. That's right. Simon Miller, the motivator's coming in. Never refer to yourself as skinny fat. Are you going to have some areas on you that are probably too fat? Absolutely. Are you probably going to make them worse in your own mind? Absolutely. Can you lose it? Sure. And then can you go on a bulk and get a bit fatter if you want to? Yes. Or can you try and maintain exactly where you are, maintaining a lean physique but trying to put on muscle? Yes, that's a real thing you can do. There's plenty of information out there. But do not start categorizing into such a negative term as skinny fat.
That's it. So let's get into it. First off, when you are falling into the skinny fat category, the first thing you need to do is get on a precise diet.
Because anybody else doesn't need to be on a precise diet. If you're not skinny fat, you can just do whatever the hell you want. Do you see how confusing this can be? Like if you've clicked this video and you actually hear the description of skinny fat and you don't actually then go, oh no, I'm not really skinny fat. But then they say a precise diet. Or if you are skinny fat, like, what do you mean a precise diet? How has that helped me whatsoever? That's just every single article I've ever read in my life. And it's good advice. You do need to go on a specific diet and you probably do need to change up what you're eating if you don't like how you look. I mean, that's going to be the catalyst. But it doesn't all of a sudden come back to this random thing that you fall in, like you were born with it. Oh no, you've been born as skinny fat. Like you've got a mole or something like that. It's just absurd.
You have to have a very specific amount of macros that you are hitting every single day, and you need to track them every single day, and you need to hit those macros perfectly. And that would be called flexible dieting.
Like every single person who wants to get in shape.
The kind of dieting that I would recommend to skinny fat people is carb cycling.
Carbs? Why? Why carbs? Let's just hear his definition of carb cycling before we go on.
It's something that I talk about extensively in my Ripped in 90 Days program, which is actually the program that I would recommend to. I actually made for skinny fat people.
I knew it. He ain't gonna tell us about carb cycling. He is just gonna hawk the wares.
And I made a free quiz that you could actually take if you want to figure out what plan would be right for your body.
I made a free quiz. A free quiz. Imagine Freeze Shred made a quiz and it's paid for. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna collapse. Nobody would pay for your quiz.
For those of you who are wondering what carb cycling is, I don't want to sit here and talk your ear off with it, but basically carb cycling is just going throughout a low, a moderate, and a high carb day on certain days of the week, and basically dropping your carbs super low on one day or multiple days throughout the week so that you can really start kicking your body into these fat burn overdrive.
Oh, fat burn overdrive. Oh, fat burn? You're not a transformer. It's absolutely ridiculous. All carb cycling is making it so complicated. Some days you eat carbs and some days you don't. You're cycling your carbs. So on a Monday, maybe you've got a leg day, so you want to have carbs. Tuesday, you're having a rest day, so you don't have carbs. Wednesday, you're doing back. Oh, I'll reintroduce carbs. Or how do I look in the mirror today? Oh, I look like I'm holding a bit of water weight. I'll drop carbs today. That's all it is. It's not some magic secret that you have to buy a stupid program for. Of course, there are good personal training stuff out there, but in terms of trying to explain it to somebody, that is all that it is. And you can do it if you're trying to bulk, you can do it if you're trying to cut, you can do it if you're a skinny fat person or a not skinny fat person. I do not understand why all of a sudden carb cycling has come into this from nowhere. It's like alien talk. It's like, oh, you skinny fat, take a toy giraffe and I've done it before, push it into your face. That's about as good. Well, not really, because carb cycling will work, that won't do anything. But the logic is the same.
Where you're taking advantage, where you're making your fat your primary fuel source, but you're not cutting out carbs so long to where you're going to slow down your metabolism, because then you reintroduce carbs, then you kick it into a high carb day, and that's when you actually give your metabolism this boost. So you're actually increasing your BMR, your basal metabolic rate.
And yes, that's the theory behind it, but it may not work for you. It may not work for you at all. You may be absolutely wrecked on non-carb days. And then if you try and force through, what's going to happen? You're going to cheat on your diet because you're a human being, and that's what everybody would do. Which is why you can't just explain this stuff like it's a one-stop shop. Oh, I'm skinny fat, I must do the carb cycling. Nope. Try carb cycling, you may not like it. You may try keto, you may not like it. Keto may be the best thing ever. You may then go, I do a traditional diet where, sometimes I increase my calories and sometimes I drop my calories, and that works perfectly. The reason there are so many diets is because you can try them all. Just find one that works for you, one that you enjoy, one that's sustainable. That's it. That's how you get out of being skinny fat.
Then when it comes to training, you can't just Google some training regimen on the internet and expect it to work perfectly for you. What you need to be focusing on is compound movement.
Oh, I'm going to rip my eyes out. He said, I don't know how much I'm going to include, but he said you can't just Google a random program on the internet, which is what you would do to find V-Shred to begin with. But to not be skinny fat, you need to do compound movements. No, that's what you should be doing regardless. That's how you build your base. That's how you build your foundations. I've got there yet, I'll put it in, but I'm going to assume that he talks about deadlifts and squats and military presses and bench press and whatever else. Of course you should be doing them. And you want to know what the real secret is? After sort of 5, 10, more than that, maybe 10 plus years of training, you can actually stop doing them if you think you've built your base, and you can focus on isolations. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. It depends how your joints feel. It depends what your overall health is. Because of course you're going to put a lot of stress on your body if you are doing squats, deadlifts, etc. You all know this. And yet you don't know compound movements are great because they work multiple muscles all at once. That's why they're not called an isolation exercise. That's why they're called a compound movement. Is this some magic dun-dun-dun for someone that is skinny fat? No, it is the basics when it comes to lifting weight.
These are your bench, your deadlift, your squat, your shoulder press, your bent over rows. The exercises that are going to use multiple muscle groups. Not only is it going to use multiple muscle groups, that it's also going to burn calories.
Oh, he said compound movements burn calories. He said compound. Don't lift weights to burn calories. Don't do it. Of course you're going to burn calories, but I'm burning calories right now waving my hands around like one of those weird balloon thingamajigs that you get at car salesman shit. Just going to go and bang your head against a wall. If the sole reason you are lifting weights is to burn calories. No, you lift weights to try and improve muscle mass, whatever the hell it is you're trying to do. If you are trying to lose weight, you need to affect your diet, also burn calories. You need to affect your diet and you need to do cardio. If you start conflating them as one, you are just going to get really confused. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I'm talking about the level, the beginner level we're talking on. Do not, this is the problem, right? Let me start again. If you're doing a bunch of squats going, wow, I'm burning a bunch of calories, you're not. I don't know how much it would be, but it's going to be minimal at best, and it's not going to get you to where you need to go in terms of losing weight, losing fat.
And something that I highly recommend is supersetting, because supersetting is not only going to keep your heart rate up, but it's also going to allow you to be able to do more exercises in a short amount of time and do isolation exercises so that you can hit the muscles that you know that are lagging on your body so that you can get the aesthetic figure that you actually want.
So you want me to superset? You didn't explain anything. So from what, if I didn't know better, I would go, okay, so he mentioned deadlifts and then he mentioned an isolation exercise. So look up an isolation exercise, it's going to say lat pulldowns. Okay, so I'll superset deadlifts with lat pulldowns. Now you can do that, but it would be far more beneficial if you really focused on your deadlifts, did a few sets, really got those reps out, took a couple of minutes, and then went and did your lat pull downs from a basic beginner point of view. But he's just thrown it out there with no explanation whatsoever.
Then you need to make sure you're doing HIIT cardio instead of steady state. Too many times I hear about guys going to the gym and running on the treadmill for 45 minutes or riding the bike for an hour and doing that every single day of the week and not getting any results and wondering why.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. If you are going to the gym every single day and doing an hour on the bike and you're not losing weight, it's because you're eating too much. That's it. Steady state cardio is amazing. Steady state cardio is fine. I would actually say it's better than HIIT cardio because no one does HIIT cardio properly. Because I don't blame you for that. Of course you don't. Do you really want to go 20 minutes all out on a bike? When I say 20 minutes, so you do your 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. In that 2 minutes, you need to get to 100% of the effort that you are able to conjure up inside yourself. Do you know how hard that is? But pretending that the reason you're not losing weight is because you pick steady state over HIIT cardio is nonsense. If you all of a sudden move to HIIT cardio, but you are not going to your diet, nothing is going to change. It's not some magic cardio thing. Maybe your body will respond better to it. Sure, you may lose a couple of extra pounds, but if you have to address it as separate things. You just do. You have to do your cardio, and your diet needs to be in check. It's just true. You can lose weight doing steady state cardio. You can lose weight doing HIIT cardio too. Why do you think the super pro bodybuilders all do steady state cardio? If they truly thought HIIT cardio is better. And I'm sure some of them do HIIT, but again, you make the choice. It is not a tick box exercise.
You need to be doing HIIT cardio. It's short and it's effective. HIIT cardio stands for high intensity interval training. You basically go through these high all-out bursts.
Don't promote shortness as a way to get people out of the gym. Do something you like. For example, if you love boxing class, which is kind of a mixture of the two really, and the boxing class goes on for an hour, should you walk out after 20 minutes? No, because you're having a good time. I happen to like steady state cardio, and just because Vincent here says that it effing sucks, but that's your opinion, and it's a fine opinion. If you think it sucks, you should do HIIT cardio, but you have to explain the benefits of both, and there are benefits to both. That's why both exist.
And you basically do that 12 to 15 times, and you burn way more calories through what is called EPOC, excess post-oxygen consumption, where you burn calories up to 48 hours after you've stopped working out.
Oh my days, he's talking about this. Look, there is science behind it, but at this stage, you are just tricking people. You are just tricking people. You have basically made it sound like if you do HIIT cardio, 48 hours later, you're still going to be burning hundreds upon hundreds of calories.
Last but not least, there are a few supplements that you could be taking. I'm not going to talk your ear off with a bunch of supplements right now. I'm just going to link below my free supplement guide that you can get for free right now. I'll put it right under the quiz.
And surprise, surprise, the supplement guide may be free, but it leads you to all of his supplements that he wants you to buy. You do not need supplements. There you go. That's the truth of leading weight. Even if I had a supplement line called Millisups, I would say that they can help you the 1-2%, and if you've got the extra cash and you're looking to sort of push it, absolutely you should go after supplements. But do you need them? No. You absolutely don't. There are athletes right now in the Olympic Games or in governing bodies, whatever, in sports with governing bodies, that will not take anything because they're worried about what's in them. So they just won't take anything because they don't want to fail a drug test. They don't want to be that person. And that's why they don't take supplements. I don't think we should do any more of these videos, but the problem is somebody will say, I only do like one every 6 months, and we have to leave it. It's true, we have to leave it, but look at me, it got me. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the bell ding ding so you can be part of the notification squad. I'll come give you a hug, maybe, you never know. There's another video on the screen. Please do give it a click. I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. That's how you support the channel that way, if you should so wish. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Simon316. If you've got videos like this, not this, please send them to me. Simon.bigcartel.com for merchandise. I'm on Cameo. If you want me to say happy birthday, I can do that now. I know it's weird. I totally agree with you. In Greg Doucette's brand new Power 13 cookbook. If you want any of the information, it's in the description below. Otherwise, you take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.